Persuasion is at the key. If you take anything away from this session, it's at the heart of what we need to do now to engage these persuadable voters who are the middle third of our democracy that went unengaged in the 2016 election and must be authentically engaged in the 2018 and 2020 elections if we're going to win. And if we're going to win these policy fights in between and make bills become laws and ideas become policy, we don't have enough people, whether you're a conservative or you're a Democrat, to do this on your own. And all the siloed social media tools and emails and mobilizing strategies that so many of us professionals use, they have failed you as citizens. They failed me as a citizen. And so the onus is on you, unfortunately and fortunately, to fix this. And the onus is on you to hold accountable us as political professionals when we do stuff that's just stupid and that doesn't make sense for our democracy. And the onus is on you as students at a professional school that's training the citizens of our next generation at all the schools that are washing across the country. We don't have schools for organizers. Most public policy schools, and I taught at one for a while, at graduate school, they don't teach people any of these things. And they don't equip people to actually change our democracy and enact policy and persuade voters and build campaigns that are meaningful and that reflect the values of the outcomes, in the process that we're all trying to achieve. So I know I jumped around to a lot of different topics in 15 slides with a ton of energy at 8:40 on a Wednesday night, depending on what time zone you're in. But I hope that this is just the start of a longer conversation that you have with yourself about what you're willing to sacrifice and what you're really willing to lean into and what discomfort you're willing to endure to have meaningful shoulders down conversations with people who fundamentally disagree with us but do share the same values. I really fundamentally think that we all want the same things more or less in our country right now, and we are at more risk than we've ever been of sinking into a civil war, the likes of which my dad's country saw, unless we figure out how to do this respectfully, authentically, and smartly, and for ourselves. And it's not something that I could holistically cover in an hour and 40 minutes. Marshall Gans is going to really dig deep. I love him. He's an idol of mine, into the personal narrative, the relating and sharing part of this, and a little bit of the inquiry part of being a persuadable person in the world and being a real community organizer. Tim McCarthy talked about the values part, so hopefully you have some good tools to identify what values you have. And then Michael Blake will rouse us all and end this session with some really fantastic tips and tools for coalition building, which is another thing we need to do a lot better as progressives, as conservatives, and as Americans if we're going to stop mourning and start organizing and passing policies that help all of us. So thank you so much for having me tonight. Big round of applause for all of you.